Welcome to the Ball Don't Lie podcast, where we talk all things NBA basketball. We got a jam-packed episode for you guys today. We're going to talk about James Harden, Paul George signing a new contract, play a little game. Um, so yeah, let's get right into it. We actually didn't even talk about James Harden on the podcast at all. I mean, we talked about James Harden, but we didn't talk about the situation at all. Um, and it's been going on for a while now. We've had some updates. Um, Before we get into the game about James Harden, I just want everyone uh I'm gonna go last on this one. But I just want everyone to give me what you guys think about the situation with James Harden and the Rockets. Are you guys on James Harden's side, the Rockets side? If you were the Rockets, would you trade James Harden, or what would you do if you were James Harden? Um but yeah, what do you guys think?
All right. So for James Harden, I don't think he's handling the situation very well. Like I know he wants apparently, or like I'm pretty sure he wants out of Houston, but I don't think that going to strip clubs and like pose like making it like people like being able to post you there so that they can see that you're at a strip club. And I think he wants to show Houston that he's doing that so that they feel more pressured to trade him. Houston has James Harden for 2 more years. So I don't know. I don't think that they should rush this unless he starts sitting out the season, which would be really bad. But they should move him at the trade deadline if they see it's not working out. But I think Houston's going to be a good team this year. But there's some trades that if I was Houston, I would look at and try to see what that trade can do for my team.
Yeah, you mentioned it. He's 2 years on his deal left, so it's going to be crucial for what the Rockets do. Obviously, if Harden sits out, they've got to trade him at the deadline. I don't know who they would say. I don't know who they would trade him to, but the Rockets have got to figure this out pretty quickly too. But on the part of James Harden, man, you're getting paid to play basketball, and you're just acting a fool. Like just acting a fool going to strip clubs. Like I really don't understand what is going on in his mind right now. Like obviously he didn't like Westbrook, but the Rockets are trying to do whatever they can to help you out, and you're just not participating. So I mean, it on James Harden's part, it's a bad look, but I feel like if he doesn't play, the Rockets have got to trade him. And honestly, it might be to a contender in the East, which would suck. But yeah.
When it comes to Harden and wanting to get traded, I feel like he's being very smart with his agent. Now, if I look at another past trade of a big star getting traded, not really at the beginning of the season or the end, I look at the Jimmy Butler trade. Now, in that trade, I feel like the Sixers just didn't give up anything close to what Jimmy Butler's worth was at the time. So I feel like they can pull something similar with Harden. Because with Harden wanting out, it's only going to drive his trade value down. So I feel like the Sixers could get away with a cheap deal. Not saying they should or shouldn't. I'm just saying they're one of the few teams in the NBA that I think can pull it off. Also without trading Simmons or Embiid.
Yeah, you guys basically hit the nail on the head. Obviously, I don't think James Harden really cares about what we say about him on this podcast, but I think what he's doing is very unprofessional. Like going to strip clubs and all that unmasked during a pandemic is not a good look, especially when you're a role model to a lot of kids out there. Like people look at you as like a top 10 player, definitely in the NBA. You're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to not go to practice. Um, and Yeah, I mean, as far as what I think the Rockets should do with them, I think the Rockets. I kind of agree with what Darian said. I think you should keep James Harden as long as you can. But if he ultimately really really wants out, if it's not working out at the deadline, then you can explore the market. But there are a lot of teams that are interested in James Harden. James Harden has actually put about four teams on his list of teams that he'd like to get traded to, which are the Nets, the Sixers, the Heat, and the Bucks. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at about a handful of trade packages. not just the 4 teams. We got a little bit more as well. And we're going to be seeing, we're going to be playing the game called Who Says No. So basically, I'll give the guys a trade package and they'll tell me which team says no, or if both teams says no, then that'll be the case. So we'll start off with the Sixers because I know Ip is a big Sixers fan. I actually found 2 packages for the Sixers, but I will just I'll just use I'll throw both out there and you guys can tell me like which one do you think is better. So James Harden for Ben Simmons, Terrence Ferguson, a 2021 first round pick, and a 2023 first round pick is the first package. And then James Harden for Ben Simmons and Danny Green is the second package. So who do you guys think says no? If you can go first.
Sixers on both because you're trading an all NBA player that's under 25 years old for an aging vet. I mean, granted, James Harden is a phenomenal player. You're just not going to get nearly as much production out of him as you can with Simmons for the next 5 years compared to Harden for the next 5 years. So I wouldn't even trade Ben Simmons straight up for James Harden, let alone more pieces.
So for me, if I'm Philly, I depending on when this trade's happening, if it was right now, I think Houston does this 100%. I don't think you can get anyone better than Ben Simmons right now with the value that Harden has, and Ben Simmons has a very bright future. He has superstar potential, and some people would argue he is currently a superstar. I wouldn't be a person that would argue that. But if for Philly right now, there's no way I think they should do that. Maybe the trade deadline, if they see Simmons and Embiid isn't working out, then maybe they look at it. But as of right now, Philly says no to both of these trades.
For the Rockets, here's his name. You're not going to get as much value as you want for James Harden, so you've got to take what you can get. The first trade with Ben, Terrence Ferguson, and I think 2 first-round picks, I would take that if I was the Rockets. But the second trade with just Harden for Simmons and Danny Green, I wouldn't. But for the Sixers, on the other hand, I would say no straight up. I mean, you don't. Ben Simmons is a transcendent player, and I think Daryl Morey has said it before. He's not willing to trade Ben or Joel for James Harden, and I wouldn't either. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Who knows if he Who knows if he leaves all of a sudden? But it is James Harden. But I would not trade Ben Simmons at all in either of these trades because he's such a transcendent player. You don't want to risk giving up a talent like that in a trade, but that's why the Sixers would say no for that, for both of them.
All right, before I give my opinion, I just want to ask like everyone, if it was Joel Embiid instead of Ben Simmons, like would you guys think the Sixers be I mean obviously like the packages would be different because of contracts, but would you guys think the Sixers would give would you if you were the Sixers, would you trade Joel Embiid rather than
Hell
Ben
no.
Simmons?
No, neither.
Neither.
No.
Nope.
I think
what about you? No, go ahead.
I think that Joel might have more value than Ben Simmons in like the market because I think there's a higher demand for bigs than there are for guards. I think Ben Simmons is better than Joel Embiid. I think I might be a minority person in that belief, but I still think Joel has more trade value.
Okay. As far as like the trade itself, the 2 trades, I think it's a no for both teams. I think the Sixers, obviously, you guys explained. I think the Rockets, Ben Simmons is very good, but you already have John Wall, and I don't think Ben Simmons and John Wall would fit together at all on the same team. Um, so I think that's why it'd be a no for both teams. So, I mean, yeah, it's interesting because the Sixers were on his list, and if Daryl Morey wants to get James Harden back in a reunion, then he's gonna have to throw in some pieces. But I don't know if Ben Simmons or Embiid is the right piece for the Sixers to give up. You want to have all 3 of them at the same time. Let's move on to the Brooklyn Nets, and here we also have 2 trade packages. The first deal is, and this is a lot. You guys have to pay attention. James Harden for Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Torian Prince, 2021 first round pick, 2023 first round pick, 2025 first round pick. Second one is the same deal, except instead of the last first round pick, you're throwing in Jared Allen. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Who says no?
I'll go first on this one. I say Brooklyn says. Oh, sorry, not Brooklyn. Sorry. I would say both teams say no to this. For two reasons. So Houston, you don't get a star in return in this deal. You don't get a potential star at all. I'll read the trade. The first one was Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Torian Prince, 2021, 2023, 2025 first round picks. The second one was Karis, Spencer, Torian Prince, Jared Allen, 2021 and 2023 first round picks. If I'm Houston, I'll do neither because you don't get any player that has star potential. You just get picks. And if picks are what you want, then sure, but I think you can trade him to another team and get better picks. And I think for the Nets, you lose all your depth and you bet on just getting Harden that might not fit with Kyrie, and you want to keep Kyrie happy because Kyrie is KD's buddy. So I don't know how that would work out. You're risking your entire bench depth and some of your starters. Actually, I don't know if any of them are starting, but you risk your entire bench depth and your future picks for James Harden, who might not fit properly. So I think it's a no.
I just want to make this point real quick. As a Celtics fan, I would love for James Harden to go to the Nets because the chemistry between Harden, Kyrie, and Durant would just completely destroy the entire team, and they would probably just absolutely self-destruct. But back to the trade. If I had the Rockets, low-key, I'd do this trade. And the reason why I say that is because Karis LeVert, we've seen him in the bubble. Yeah, he doesn't have all NBA caliber potential. But he can be probably he can be probably a top 30 player if he wanted to, if he played like the way he did in the bubble. Like he's got the mid range, he's got a very good vision, and Spencer Dinwiddie is no slouch either. And you get 3 first round picks too. Like imagine what that pick could be in 2027. If the Nets don't have Durant, Kyrie, and Harden, like that could be a lottery pick. And like same with like 2025 maybe. So if you think about it, I would do this trade if I was the Rockets, if Harden was not complying and playing. Remember, that's a key part of this. And as for the second trade, I'd do this again if I'm the Rockets. But Darian, you mentioned it before. If I'm the Nets, I don't do this at all. Like you lose all your depth, you lose future picks, and those future picks could be lottery picks. So you just never know. But that's why you shouldn't do the trade you shouldn't do the trade if you were the Nets. But if I was the Rockets, I would do both of the trades without a hesitation.
If I were the Rockets, I would take either of these trades without a question, just because it makes your team more well-rounded. I mean, you don't really have a main star, but you can figure that out. You got a lot of pieces to work with. I feel like it could be one of the deepest teams in the NBA if they make one of these trades. Spencer Dinwiddie is no pushover. He's an all-star, but now he's going to be overshadowed. I mean, he never really got into the game, but he would be if it wasn't for Kyrie Irving. Karis LeVert, phenomenal young player. I mean, I don't know if we're doing our 5 breakouts later, but I'll tell you what, he's on my list. And Torian Prince and Jared Allen are definitely just shitters throwing at trades. They're good players. And I feel like they're definitely worth more than those first-round picks at the time. The Rockets need to just make a decision to go all in on Harden for these next 2 years or get a 2-year head start on a big rebuild.
Yeah, I agree with Ib completely. I think if you're the Rockets, you take this deal. Like 3 picks. I mean, obviously Spencer and Karis are not like young superstars, but they're very solid pieces to complement a John Wall or a Christian Wood because they are like Karis can play the forward position and Spencer can either be a very good 6-man or play the 2 guard along with John Wall. Um, and if you take the deal with Jared Allen, you're getting another center. and you're getting a lot of first round picks. If I'm the Nets, I'm not doing this deal. The last time the Nets traded away three or four first round picks, they ended up getting fleeced by Danny Ainge in that Paul Pierce trade. And I just don't. I think they should keep their. I think a big part of why the Nets. I think the Nets will be really successful next year is because they have a lot of debt along with Kyrie and KD, and they're just gonna lose it all. If you're trading for James Harden, I don't think the chemistry is gonna work out either. Uh, so yeah, I'd probably say no if I were the Nets. Um, Moving on to another team that was on Harden's list, which was the Miami Heat. Uh, the Heat get it's only one trade this time. The Heat get James Harden. The Rockets get Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, Andre Iguodala, Kelly Olynyk, 2 first-round picks. Um, I'll go first. I'll save you guys the time. I'm a Heat fan, so um, I I mean James Harden is a very phenomenal player, but he's an anti-Heat culture guy. Like I see him as an anti-Heat culture guy. He does not fit our culture whatsoever. When Russell Westbrook requested a trade, there was like 10 reports that came out about how James Harden was not trying to be held accountable. James Harden was not receptive to criticism, this, that, and the other. I don't think that obviously Jimmy Butler was like, yeah, I like James Harden, but he also liked Embiid, but the situation in Philly didn't really work out. And I don't think the situation in Miami is going to work out, especially when we're literally getting up half our roster to get him. Um, and if it was like obviously the Rockets, I'd say take this deal because you're getting very nice young pieces. You're getting 2 first-round picks, and Iguodala and Olynyk are guys that can be, nice role players. But I say no if I'm the Heat simply because we're giving up a lot, and I don't think James Harden's going to fit our culture or our play style because he is a very ISO-heavy player. And our team is built around ball movement and player movement.
If I would say no if I'm both teams. Like I'm not a Miami fan. But I think this is Miami's just giving up too much, too many players and too many picks, like all that combined. I don't think that like Hero and Duncan. I think it's just the picks. If you remove the picks just for Harden, then you have to give like a couple players back so like it matches up like the rosters. I don't think like on paper, I think the Heat would do this. But that's like without knowing what like the Heat are made of and how much Hero actually means to them and how much they believe in Tyler Hero. I don't know about all that Heat culture stuff. That's not like my stuff. I don't know any of that. Suhas is a Heat fan. He knows that better than I do. But I just don't think Heat are just going to give up their young players for James Harden. I don't think Houston gets enough back for what they want to do for James Harden. I don't think it's a bad trade for Houston. I think they can just get better for Harden. So I would say it's a no.
For me, I would say I would agree with you on this one. I'd say no if I was the Heat, and I'd say no if I was the Rockets as well. If you're the Rockets, yeah, you get Tyler Hero back and Duncan Robinson. He's a sharpshooter, but like, what else do you get from this trade? Iguodala is old as hell. I mean, I just put that straight out there. He's super old. And Kelly Olynyk is a defensive liability. Yeah, he can hit the three once in a while, and he can get hot from there, but he's like really. And those 2 first-round picks are not going to be as valuable because the Heat are definitely going to be contending. So they're going to be in the later side of the 20s. And if I'm if I'm the Heat, like this is definitely a bad trade. You're giving up basically all your depth. Harden's an ISO player. You mentioned it, Suhas. Like it just doesn't fit the Heat vibe. Like I know what you're talking about. And Harden, he's not the type of player to have that type of work ethic that Jimmy Butler has. Like we see James Harden work ethic right now on full display, going to strip clubs, not showing up to training camp. Like you see it. He just doesn't fit that Heat vibe. And that's why I would say no to this trade if I was Miami. But I would also say no if I was Houston too.
Ip, do you?
If I'm the Heat, I would just what?
Donna, go ahead.
If I'm the Heat, I would untrade Jimmy Butler and just give him back to the Sixers because Brett Brown's a bitch. That's all I have to say on this trade.
All right. Very nice analysis. Yeah, we have like two more trades left. Second to last trade is with the Milwaukee Bucks, which is another team on Harden's list. And this trade is Chris Middleton, Dante DiVincenzo, DJ Wilson, and a first round pick for James Harden. Um, what do you guys think about this?
Sorry. So Chris Middleton, Dante DiVincenzo. How many picks?
Uh,
Exactly.
just one pick and DJ Wilson.
Okay, so yeah, I think Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, DJ Wilson, and okay, I think Milwaukee. I haven't really thought about this. I don't think Houston does this. Dante DiVincenzo isn't like special. Like he could have some good potential. Chris Middleton's an all-star, but like he's kind of like, I don't want to say overrated, but he's like, I would say he's an all-star because of Giannis. I don't know how he's like a player that he could be an all-star, he could not be an all-star. Like, and if he's not an all-star, people won't call him a snub unless he has like an insane season. I don't think he will. On Houston, I don't know how he would fit with like John Wall. I don't think Houston does this. I think the Philly deal, a Philly deal would be better for to get Ben Simmons. I don't think Chris Middleton's that great of a replacement for Harden, and you're not getting picks back for this. You're only getting one. For Milwaukee, this is tough because I don't know how Harden and Giannis will play because I'm pretty sure they have beef right now. Harden said that Giannis, if he wasn't like 10 feet tall, he would be like working at a McDonald's or something. I don't know it's like exactly what it was, but Giannis said Harden can't pass. All-star game drama. So I don't know how this would work. For Milwaukee, I think this is the only trade on this list that I think the team other than Houston might do, but I'm not fully sure about that.
So first of all, if I'm Houston, I say hell no to this trade. Look, Chris Middleton's an all-star, but he's one of the lower end all-stars. He's not, and Dante DiVincenzo's like, oh, he's nice, but he's like not. He's got potential, but he's not worth like those two plus DJ Wilson and one first round pick is not worth James Harden at all. Like I know you're not going to get as much value as you want for James Harden, but it just doesn't work. Like that's not the value you want. But if I'm the Bucks and this trade is offered, I'm doing this in an instant. I'm doing this in an instant. Like this is an instant W for the Bucks. But I doubt that the Rockets even like put this trade anywhere. So that's why I would say no for the Rockets, yes for the Bucks.
All right. I also agree with what Tay just said. I think that if I'm the Bucks, I'm doing this deal because you have James Harden and then you have Drew Holiday to like guard whoever his man is. Um, and then I love that backcourt. And then you have Giannis. That's an instant. That'd probably be my favorite team in the East if they got James Harden, um, to come out of the East. Yeah, if I'm the Bucks, I'm doing this. I'm the Rockets. I'm not doing this at all. Because you're only getting one pick in the future, and the Bucks are going to be very good. And I don't know if Chris Middleton's that guy who's a James Harden replacement. Um, if I'm the Bucks, I'm not doing this. If you have anything to say or not.
I just kind of feel like it's a trade that doesn't do enough for either team because Middleton's not making the Rockets better, and Harden and Giannis, I just can't really see working. So
I agree.
Okay, the last deal is obviously like we have to throw this team in everywhere because they're somehow linked to every single player. The New York Knicks. And for the Knicks, we have James Harden for RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, 2021 first round pick, 2023 first round pick, 2025 first round pick, and 2 second-round picks. So it's picks galore plus RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. What do you guys think?
All right. So if I'm the Knicks, you want to sell tickets. You want to get people to watch your game. You give up your entire future, but how bright is it when you draft like idiots anyways? I think the Knicks would do this. That might sound weird because Harden is a free agent 2 years and he would probably leave. But the Knicks, they should take any chance they can for getting a superstar because no one's going there in free agency. The only chance they had, the two players went to the other team in the same city. So, I don't know if Brooklyn's the same city. I'm not American, but they're different cities, I'm pretty sure, but same state. Let's just say that. They went to the arena across town, and that was their only chance of getting a superstar. If they can get any superstar, give up RJ Barrett. That's the reason you draft players. It's so you can use them as assets. And RJ, I'll talk about him later, I think. No, I won't, but I think he's gonna have a good season. And Julius Randle, obviously, he's pretty shit, but they got him last year in free agency. You do this if you're the Knicks. If you're the Rockets, this may surprise you guys, but I would do this as the Rockets. The reason why I like this more than the Nets deal, although the players might not be as much, you get better picks. I would want Knicks picks over Nets picks. It's as simple as that. I think RJ Barrett, I'd rather have him over Spencer Dinwiddie for the future, and Julius Randle's a good player. So I think Houston does this if they have to. I don't think it's the best deal they can get, but I think it's better than the Nets deal they that we talked about earlier.
If I'm both teams, I say no to this trade. Well, actually, if I'm the Rockets, I'm still saying no to this trade. 3 first-round picks is not going to be enough because James Harden on any team in the East is automatically a playoff berth. Like, regardless, James Harden by himself can make playoffs. Like, I'm being legit serious, and those picks are not going to be as valuable as you may think. So, if I'm the Knicks, I'm not doing this trade at all, because you're giving up 3 first-round picks. Like, it's gonna be like the Billy King Nets situation all over again, except now it's in New York City. Like, just straight up, I wouldn't do this. But if I'm the Rockets, I would think about it, but I wouldn't do a trade either like this.
I think that if I was the Knicks, I would not do this because Darian said that like they don't attract free agents. So I think the best chance of them getting talent is through the draft, and you don't want to give up your picks. Um, because I'm convinced that if James Harden gets traded there, he's gonna leave. Like he's gonna get out of there whenever his contract is up. You're just gonna basically give those 2 picks for mediocrity, and not 2 picks. It was like 10 picks for mediocrity and nothing in the. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna make the playoffs in the East. Um, if I'm the Rockets, I mean, I might do this deal because Knicks picks are like very valuable, and you're getting like a boatload of them. And RJ Barrett is a risk, but I think like Houston's a pretty good situation for him to go to. Julius Randle could also work there, so I'd say no if I'm the Knicks, and yes if I'm the Rockets.
If I'm the Knicks, I say yes because the Knicks have proven that they don't give a rat's ass if their team wins. They just care about money, and Harden would definitely bring in money. And if I'm the Rockets, I'm not doing it because you're getting back nowhere near enough for James Harden.
All right, and that's all the trade packages that we have for James Harden. Be interesting to see like where if he gets traded and if he does, where he will get traded to. Because preseason actually starts like today. And we'll talk about preseason after a game, but um, it'll be interesting to see if James Harden plays in the Rockets preseason games or if he starts the season with the Rockets. But we're gonna move on to something that we all did in our spare time. We came up with our 5 breakout players for next season. I'll go last on this one, but just let's just go one by one. Like we'll give our like first players, and then we'll each give our first player, each give our second player, and then so on and so forth. So, who do you guys have as your number one?
So you want us to say our number ones before, like you don't want us to say number and then go down?
I didn't like rank mine, but if you have like
Oh,
a specific order, then just say like your number 5, and then we'll just
okay.
go up to number.
I'm gonna go as number 5 down because I have an order.
Oh, you want to go first?
Yeah. Sorry. So for my number 5, I kind of have 2 players that play on the same team. I just don't know which one of them will be my number 5 when the season starts. I have Fred VanVleet and Norman Powell. I think one of them will have a big step up because the Raptors got less deep during this offseason. I think there's a better chance that Norman Powell has a breakout year. He's a very underrated player. I think most of us can agree with that. He had a really good game 6 against Boston. He's a pretty good defender. And I think next year he's just going to be able to show his abilities more because he'll have the ball in his hands more. And Fred just got a big contract, and I think he is a sleeper pick as an all-star. I don't know if you guys disagree or agree. I don't think he's going to be an all-star. I wouldn't put him there, but I'm saying he could be a sleeper pick for an all-star. So that's who I have. Those are the 2 people I have at my number 5. And I know someone has something to say about that, I think.
I don't have anything to say about those 2, but the only reason I'll say that they'll probably. I could see Norman Powell breaking out a little bit, but again, nobody pays attention to the Raptors. I'm sorry, no offense. Literally, nobody pays attention to the Raptors.
No offense taken.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't have a rankings of my top 5 breakout players, but a breakout player I could see is Markelle Fultz. I really like Markelle Fultz. When he got drafted to Philly, and I was glad he was the number 1 pick. Partly because Boston got Tatum, but that's another story for another day. But Fultz can definitely develop. He doesn't have DJ Augustine behind him, and in the playoffs, Augustine took a lot of the crucial minutes Fultz would have played, and that really hindered Fultz's development. And now that he is a rookie behind him playing backup point guard, Fultz is probably going to take off. He's probably going to average 15, 6, and 6. I could see that happening. He could probably average more. Because this is the number 1 draft pick we're talking about. He doesn't have all-star. He doesn't have all-star potential, but we see the potential in him to be one of the best players in the league. But he's just got to put it out there on the court. And I don't know if he can do it with the Magic, but I can see him, getting himself putting himself into the conversation of a top 15 point guard in this league. And I think he'll break out this year.
So for my first round of breakout players, I have a bit of a 2-parter. And this is from my roots. I just kind of have to pick these guys because they had kind of iffy beginnings of their career, and that's Cam Reddish and Mo Bamba. I know a lot of you guys probably don't know how on earth they're connected, but they went to the same high school, and I saw a lot of their games because I lived 5 minutes away from their high school. It was really funny seeing them on the football team. There's 2 giant trees with helmets on. It was hilarious. But these 2 they're ball players. Cam Reddish is about to come out and be the second best player on the Hawks next year behind Trae Young. And I feel like it's just a matter of time before Mo Bamba takes over that center role for the Orlando Magic.
You think Cam Reddish is going to be better than John Collins next year?
They're going to be playing different positions. But I don't know. Didn't Collins have what do you have? No, not an STD.
No, he had yeah, I think so. Something like that. I don't think Cam Reddish has a chance to be as good as John Collins. John Collins is projected to have a really good season next season.
I'm a big Collins fan. I'm just a bigger Reddish fan. Oh, and also, no chance Fred VanVleet's an all-star. We can proceed.
No chance? Let's bet on that.
During this podcast, I've just been preparing my all-star predictions, and I just make a really broad list. I have about 23 guys written down in the East. VanVleet's not on there.
Name a couple guards that are better than VanVleet, other than the top guards, not Kyrie and shit.
Jaylen Brown.
Oh, I have it written. I'm going down the line.
Go ahead.
I just realized I didn't write down the Celtics, but we Brown, Kemba, and Tatum.
Kemba's gonna be injured. I don't think he's gonna make it. But okay, go ahead.
Giannis, Middleton, Holiday.
No.
Durant.
Tell me the guards. Tell me all the guards.
Oh, just guards. All right.
Yeah.
Holiday.
Okay.
Irving.
Okay.
I feel like I'm not saying he's better. I'm just saying because of empty stats and where he is, I'm putting RJ Barrett.
Oh hell no, hell no.
Okay,
Just because
okay.
he's a Knicks. Just because he's a Knicks. If he puts
He was
up
a Knick
28
last
points
year.
a game in the Knicks, he's an all-star.
I think
Simmons?
I think
Hold on. I'll give you the list of 5. I'll give you. It's 5 guards, isn't it? So I'll give you a list right
I
now.
don't.
Irving,
I'm not sure how many guards it is.
Trae Young. I could see Jaylen Brown, Ben Simmons, Bradley
Levine.
Beal, Russell Westbrook,
Levine.
Levine. Like who else am I forgetting? Drew Holiday.
I'm sure Ben Simmons is a forward when it comes to All Star.
No, Simmons is going to be listed as a point guard.
He's
a
always
guard.
been
He's a
listed as
guard.
power.
Guard. So
He was
there's
listed
no
as a
way I
forward.
could
No,
see.
I'm on
There's
NBA.com.
chance I could see.
For All Stars, they have him listed as a guard.
Yeah,
All right,
I
well,
can also see Jaylen Brown's better than him too. I could see Brown being in there too, like because Brown's going to take a major step without Kemba being there for the first month. I seen VanVleet nowhere. I mean, nowhere near this. Like I don't know why you even put them out there. I see his own teammate Kyle Lowry.
Oh no, he's making it. Lowry's making it. Oh, you said over him.
Over him. There's
over him.
no way VanVleet makes it. I see zero chance.
I'm taking Colin Sexton over both those guys.
I agree too. Colin Sexton is a 20-point per game scorer.
I think
Also,
Sexton is gonna spend.
Jaylen Brown, I'm pretty like on. Oh no, he's a shooting. I don't know why it says primary small forward when he plays shooting guard. I don't know, but
The only thing about guys like Colin Sexton is I would pick him too, but I don't think the NBA is gonna recognize people who have like that much people who have like losing records. Yeah, like Trae Young was an exception because he averaged like 30 points, but I don't know about like anyone else.
Also, I didn't say Fred was gonna be an all-star. I said he's a sleeper pick to be an all-star, which is like it's showing how he's a sleeper pick because no one expects him to be an all-star. You never know.
All right, everyone, do your second breakout player.
It's
yeah. I'll do my first. So for my first pick for my breakout player, I have someone who is on the Washington Wizards, and his name is Thomas Bryant. I'm a big fan of Thomas Bryant. He spent a lot of his time last year injured, but when he came back from injury, he in the bubble he averaged 18 points, and he only averaged like 9 before he got injured. So I think he's going to take a big step next year and be the center that the Wizards need. He is a liability on defense, but I think offensively he'll be a very good center.
All right, so I'm gonna move on to my 4. Keep in mind mine are in order. 5 is my least likely, and then 1 is I think my most likely or the best breakout. So my number 4 is Colin Sexton. He's on a garbage team, and I think this offseason or this break just helps him gain like confidence and like get more reps in the gym and just become a better player. He's a great player. I think he averaged 20 points. I'm just gonna check that real quick. But he's a great player. He could be an all-star. He averaged 21 points but he just doesn't rebound or pass. He's not efficient. He's not inefficient though. For a guard, he's efficient. And he can shoot the 3 ball. I think he's going to take a big step next year. I can see him averaging 24 points next year, which may be surprising. He's really young. He's definitely a future all-star, in my opinion. I think Cleveland has something here. I can just see him taking a big step next year. So I have him at my 4.
So I just want to make this quick point. Colin Sexton isn't on my list, but I just want to talk about Colin Sexton for a second. I don't know if you knew this, Darian, but back when he was in college, there was one game. I think Suhas and it might remember this. Colin Sexton came out of Alabama, and there was one game where I think the entire Alabama bench got ejected from the game. It was 3-on-5. It was Colin Sexton.
Yeah, no, I've seen that.
5 defenders, and he absolutely torched them. Like I will never forget that game. But he's got that type of potential, and I think he'll average around 20 plus a game like he did last year. But don't be surprised to see him in an All-Star game like maybe in a few years from now because he's that good. But that moves me to my next breakout player, and that's Kobe White. I love Kobe White. I watched him at UNC. That man, the pace that he runs with is extraordinary. Like it's off the charts. And especially with Chris Dunn leaving the Bulls, it gives him the number 1 option. Like he's the number 1 point guard on the roster. He's going to get a lot of minutes, a lot of touches, and I wouldn't be surprised if he broke out this year at all.
Ip, tell us your
All right.
next player.
I don't have an order. I'm just gonna pick one at random. We're gonna go with DeMarcus Cousins. I feel like he has the perfect case for. I know there's a comeback player of the year of the NFL, but is there one for the NBA? Or
No,
is that
no,
just
no.
most improved?
No, there's most improved. That's like I don't know how football is, but I would say that's basically if he can win most improved if he has a good season because he played pretty shit. He didn't even play last year properly. Yeah, he was injured. So yeah, basically
If
comeback player.
Cousins, yeah, if he can just come back, get the Rockets a nice 17, 18 points a game, maybe not 10 rebounds, but close. I feel like he is a very strong case for most improved player, and he is really good, I'd say, setting to break out. Because who's another center on the Rockets? I can't name one. So it looks like he'll be getting a lot of time at center.
Christian Wood. But I like DeMarcus Cousins. I like the DeMarcus Cousins pick. Um, uh, I also like Colin Sexton. The reason I didn't have Colin Sexton and Kobe White was because I knew that someone else would have him. I wanted to come up with guys that I didn't think any of you guys would come with. My next guy is Marvin Bagley, who is also someone who spent his time injured last year. Um, and he averaged 14 points last year. I think he can take a step to about 18 next year. If he's fully healthy, that's the thing. We just need to see him healthy. But if he's healthy, I think that Bagley will be a very good player.
All right, so my next player. Well, before I get my next player, I liked all of your picks. The Kobe White, Marvin Bagley, and DeMarcus Cousins. That's kind of like a weird pick, but I can kind of see it. If Hardy can stay in the Rockets, that's why I think the Rockets will be pretty good. So my next player, my number 3, is Michael Porter. I think some of you might have him. If he stays healthy, the only reason he got drafted, I think it was 14th. Correct me if I'm wrong. It could have been 15th. It's because of his back injuries. He is. I don't remember whose draft class he was in exactly. I know it was the last year. I don't know who else was it. Was that Luka's draft class? Yeah, it was Luka's draft class. Okay, that's like Luka, Trae Young. Those are the two I remember. And then DeAndre Ayton's in that one. I think Michael Porter's a top 5 player in that draft class. Like his talent, his ability is amazing. I think he can really be a 3rd star on Denver. A good shooter, a good spot up shooter, and he kind of lacks defense, but he has size. He can get defense. It's like we always talked about Andrew Wiggins. Like he has the body to become such a good player, but he never became that next level player. I think that's the same situation with Michael Porter. But he has he has his future. He's only played 1 season. I think he was injured the year before. Or not, I'm not sure, but he hasn't played that much. I think Michael Porter is a good pick for a breakout player for next season.
I like your pick of Michael Porter, but I'm picking a teammate of his. I'm picking. I have as one of my breakout players, Bol Bol. Bol is gonna be playing the 2nd center spot now that Mason Plumlee is gone. And I could see him even playing some major power forward minutes. I don't know if y'all been watching the videos on Instagram of Bol at the Nuggets practice facility. That man's been going off during scrimmages. I low key think if he gets the right amount of minutes, he could be a really big breakout player for the Nuggets. He could help Jokic out a lot with the scoring. And with an extraordinary passer like Jokic, he could easily average 10 points a game and maybe even like 10 boards a game. Like I wouldn't even be surprised. Which is why I've got him as one of my breakout players.
Ip.
All right. Time for me to eat the Sixers. All right. This is my 3rd one. It was Marvin Bagley, but then I changed it. I didn't have him on the list because I knew it pissed everyone off, but now I feel like it's a perfect opportunity to. So, about a month ago, it might have been more than a month. It's not Matisse Thybulle. About a month or 2 ago, Sixers did hire a new coach in Doc Rivers. Now, there's something that we know about Doc Rivers, and that was his season when he coached the Clippers when I think they took the Warriors to 6 games, and just what he did with that dumpster fire of a team. So, from that dumpster fire, produced a trade. That trade sent Tobias Harris to the Sixers. Now, at the time, Rivers had to cut his ties off with Tobias, but he loved himself some Tobias Harris in his offense. He was doing everything for him. Flash forward a year, Tobias Harris still in the Sixers, a little overpaid, but the Sixers bring in Doc Rivers. So if Doc Rivers can implement into Tobias Harris's game what he was doing on the Clippers, then I think the Sixers might be a 3 all-star team.
No, stop right there.
I
know you just didn't say the Sixers have 3 all-stars.
No, he said they could have.
Tobias Harris is not going to be an all-star this year. I can guarantee you.
Can we just acknowledge?
He's averaged basically 20 points back-to-back years.
Yeah, but he had no one on his teams with the Clippers. He had nobody.
That was
Gallinari was like the only player.
1/4 of those 20 points per game season, so just half of one he was on the Clippers.
Could we acknowledge how Tobias Harris averaged 20 points this year, and him breaking out would have to he would have to average like 24 points?
No, he didn't.
You'll see. You'll see.
He averaged like 15, didn't he?
No, he averaged 19.6.
Oh, yeah, he averaged 19.6.
If you want to break out averaging 20 points, you have to score more, and he's on a better team now. Like the Sixers got better than they were last year. I don't know how the hell he's going to do better than he did last year, and he's getting older.
Doc Rivers, baby. See.
Doc Rivers, Mr. 31 lead choker.
Okay.
You guys don't even
This
do
is Sixers Doc Rivers I'm talking about, not whatever the hell team Doc Rivers. Sixers or Doc Rivers.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Tobias Harris is like I think you should put Danny Green on this list over Tobias Harris.
Oh, you're funny. All right, go ahead.
Danny Green may or may not be on my list.
Go ahead, Suhas.
I also have I have a Heat player. It's pretty obvious. I didn't think you guys would pick him, but I have Tyler Hero on my list.
I heard. I don't like you. I don't like you.
I mean, he's just oozing potential. Like, he only averaged 13 in the regular season, but when he got given the opportunity in the playoffs, he broke the record for the consecutive double-digit scoring in games by rookie. Also broke Dwayne Wade's record from a consecutive 20-point games in the playoffs as a rookie. So he has potential, and I think out of, I think Bam was – I didn't want to pick Bam because Bam was already an all-star. Duncan's like a catch-and-shoot guy, so Tyler is a guy with the next most potential on the team, and I wanted to show him some love because I think he's going to be a big part of our future.
Sorry. So my second player here. So my top 2 are the 2 players I chose to win most improved, I think it was. And number 2, I have Christian Wood. I think he's gonna have, even though he's on a better team, I think he's gonna have a good year. This guy had a decent season. I'm just gonna check his stats. Might have been better than decent. I'm not sure. I didn't really watch Christian Wood. But I think he's gonna have a good chance on the Rockets to show how good he is. He averaged 13 points, and he shoots threes. And he scores threes. He shoots 39% from 3. I think he's gonna do good on the Rockets. I think he can win most improved. I think he's gonna go to 8. I think instead of Cousins scoring 18 points per game, I think Christian Wood will score 18 points per game. So he's the guy I have at 2.
I think I have a clear, obvious choice. Again, my breakout players are not in order. So, I really didn't have an order. But mine is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, I think this was clearly obvious. Mans is probably going to average 25 plus a game next year and probably 6-7 assists and a few rebounds. I mean, I would say that's definitely a breakout. So, I mean, I really don't – there is no explanation for this. He's on a team by himself. There's really no explanation for this, which is why he's one of my breakout players. And I'm saving my Celtics players for the next one.
All right, so my next breakout player, against Doc Rivers, again, this player put up 39 points on an injury-riddled Sixers team. Now, Doc Rivers saw that. So now that he's seen it, he knows how fucking awesome Shake Milton is. So Shake Milton, when playing, is one of the best shooters in the league. I don't think that's even able to be argued. Just look at the numbers. And he's going to be the Sixers sixth man, and he's going to win sixth man of the year. So he's Lou Williams.
So
Did
hot.
you say Shake Milton?
No way. This man said Shake Milton.
I don't even know. He averaged 9 points last year.
Per 36.
I don't know, bro.
Look at the per 36.
Bro, what do you mean per
16.9?
36? You can get into a game. You can go into one game for 1 minute and score a point. That means you're averaging 36 points in a per 36 minute stat. Like,
Yeah, per 36.
I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's getting the minutes because you guys drafted another guard this year too.
Yeah, Tyrese Maxey.
I mean, we also had guards on the roster taking minutes from him last year, and he worked his way up throughout the season.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Shake Milton breaking out.
I'm not gonna say. I don't think that Shake Milton's like a terrible player, but I don't see him breaking out like that. I also did have like Michael Porter Jr. Darren, is that who you said, Michael Porter, or you said Christian Wood? Christian Wood.
yeah, I had Michael Porter earlier.
Christian Wood and Shea. I didn't have them because I knew that you guys would pick them. I went with Brandon Clark. I think with Jaren Jackson Jr. being injured for the first part of the season, Brandon Clark is going to take a big step. He averaged basically 14 points off the bench last year. And I think he was one of my favorite rookies coming into last year's draft. And I think that he's going to be very good, especially with Jaren Jackson Jr. being injured.
All right, so I like the pick of Shea. I didn't put him on my list. I completely forgot about him. He's going to have a crazy year. I like Brandon Clark. That's a good pick too. Well, so my number one is a guy, he's going to be improved. I'm sure of it. It's DeAndre Ayton. This guy put up 18, 12, and 2. Like, these don't matter, but he got, how many blocks did he get? He got about 1.5 blocks, so near 2. He round up to 2. He's very efficient. He can shoot free throws, and he can shoot mid-range shots. His three-point shot isn't the greatest, but he can develop it. It's pretty bad. That's not the greatest. It's pretty bad. You add Chris Paul into the equation, DeAndre Ayton's going to be a lot better. I think he's going to go to 22 points per game, 12 rebounds. He's going to stay there, and he's going to start hitting more jump shots. He's going to have a crazy year. I can't wait to see him. I think he's going to become a star. He could become an all-star in the West as a big. So he's my main breakout player, and I think he has the best odds to break out of all of these guys as well.
So this is my only Celtics bias of the video. My breakout player this year, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he took a big step, is Marcus Smart. He averaged 13, 4.5, 4.8, and 3 rebounds a game? Yeah, 4 rebounds a game. And honestly, with Kemba being out for the first half of the month, he's gonna put up some big stats. I know y'all probably gonna absolutely slander me, but hear me out. Okay, Marcus has improved his vision a lot, especially as he did during the playoffs. He had Darian. I'm pretty sure you remember Game 6. This man averaged This man put up a triple double in Game 6. It was ridiculous. I couldn't even believe it. What's his name? Mike Breen was like, "Oh, Marcus Smart has a triple double." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's some sneaky vision. And without Kemba for that first month, and only Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart is going to have to score a lot, and he's going to have to facilitate a lot. And I think he's gonna end up averaging almost 16, 7, and 4 with maybe 2 steals a game and half a block. I could definitely see that out of Marcus Smart, because that's the type of player he is. He plays with heart and he plays with passion, and he's gonna put on a show. And that's why I think he's gonna be a breakout player this year for the Celtics.
All right, so I'm just gonna go after Tejas on this one, and let me finish before you try to rebuttal. I think we can all agree. I just have to look at his stats and say this. Marcus Smart isn't the greatest offensive player, scoring wise. He's very inefficient. He shoots 38% on the season from the field. That's not very good. He only scores 13 points, and he shoots about 11.4 times. That's you're basically shooting as much as you're scoring in points. But this is the thing. His impact is unmatched when it comes to like the heart and soul of a team and the effort he puts in. There's not many people that play harder than Marcus Smart. The reason why I don't agree with you having him on a breakout list is because usually when we're talking about breakout, it's about stats. That's why we have like Colin Sexton here, because we know his team's not going to do good, but we know his stats are going to go up. Marcus Smart, I don't think his stats are going to go up in a way that he's going to get like a breakout. Like you can say he got a breakout year. I think this year was his like breakout year. Last year he averaged 9 points. And I think with Kemba out, he's going to have more time, obviously. But he can average a lot of steals. He can average his blocks, whatever. But I don't think he's going to get 17 points per game. I think that's way too much. And if he does, he's going to be shooting too much because he's not an efficient player. He was good in the playoffs. He's a great defender, but I don't think you have to show on the stat line if you want to be a breakout player. And I don't think he's going to be being a lot better on the stat line.
Before IPP and Suhas go, I just want to rebuttal this real quick. Marcus Smart came off the bench a lot last year, which is why. And the other thing is, Marcus Smart is basically a spot up 3-point shooter. Like they really, the Celtics didn't ask him to do as much facilitating last year. They asked him to sit in the corner, wait for Kemba, and shoot threes. Like that's literally what they asked him to do. So that's why his field goal percentage is like terrible, because it's in fact more closer to his 3-point percentage because he literally just shoots threes a game.
I agree.
Yeah, and so the other because he's going to be the primary facilitator on the Celtics, which is why I think he's going to have he's going to increase his stats, and he's going to be playing way more minutes, which is going to be critical. I don't know why his shooting has gotten better and better over the years, and I just think this is the year. We're paying him $13 million a year, and I expect some sort of improvement, and I think he will. I think he's going to put up at least 17. I listed the stats, but he's going to improve. He's going to break out, without a doubt. Like I don't have any question because I know his work ethic. He plays with so much heart, and I feel like this is the year his stats finally show. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I just want to quickly say, I think that breakouts are usually for younger players. I don't think Marcus Smart he's obviously not a young player, so that's why I don't think
he's 26. That's still considerably young for him, at least.
All right. I would consider him a veteran in this league, but he is pretty young in age.
My last guy, I honestly like kicking myself when I forgot him for my most improved player list. And none of you guys have named him so far, so it's pretty good. It's a point guard out west. His name is DeJounte Murray. I think that DeJounte is a he's one of my favorite players in the league. Defensively, he's dope. All defensive team. I think Tatis might have had him. My bad. And for most improved, but I think that he averaged 11 points last year. And I think he can definitely up that to 16. 15, 16, especially with DeRozan and Aldridge getting older. I think one of them is probably going to be gone as well next year, or after next year. And yeah, I think he's going to take a big jump next year.
All right. Saving the best for last. Who will be breakout player of 2020? Who will be that player that takes home MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Most Improved? Is that even possible in one season? I don't know, but this player is about to make it possible. There's no need for an introduction. You all know who I'm talking about at this point. It's Ben Simmons.
Oh my god.
When Ben Simmons comes out, starts launching 3 balls on everyone, and starts averaging 25, 26 a game, while still maintaining the assists and rebounds, everyone's going to be like, wow, I can't believe I actually slandered Ben Simmons this much. Why? Because he's a top 10 player in the NBA already, And then once he shoots, he'll be the best player in the NBA. Don't give me that LeBron shit. Don't give me that Giannis shit. He's the best player in the NBA when he has a 3-ball. I gotta go lift. See ya.
Well,
Okay.
I think we. I don't think.
I was gonna flame it.
Yeah, I don't think we need to flame him. I think.
he just left.
Yeah.
You know who I think
Yeah,
has a higher
we
chance
can-
of breaking out than Shake Milton? Like, I'm being completely honest here. Alex Caruso. Like, come on.
Okay. We got too much.
Yeah, let's end the episode. Thank you guys for watching.
This guy.
We hope you enjoyed the episode. As usual, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you guys aren't already. If you guys didn't already hit the bell. Yeah, we're gonna be giving you guys bangers every week. Ip is back. I just gotta tell Ip that Ben Simmons is not a top 10 player in the NBA.
Not yet.
By far.
He's better than
Name-
He's better than
Are
Jason
they-
Tatum. That's
Name
gonna hurt
10
Tatum.
players.
Whoa. Hell no.
Yeah, let's have
Yeah.
Hell no.
No.
Ben
Tatum.
Simmons is not better than Jason Tatum. I
No,
know
he's
you didn't say that.
he's
Whoa,
way
whoa.
better.
Did someone just say Jason Tatum better than Ben Simmons?
Some
Yes,
Celtics fan.
Better than Ben Simmons. Hands down, he's better.
That's mad cap, bro. Ben Simmons gets more
Dude,
rebounds. He
saying
gets more
Jason Tatum
assists.
is better than Ben Simmons is just like saying that Burger King is a good restaurant. Like,
This guy.
All right,
Bro.
buddy.
Ben
I'm
Simmons
not-
here. Ben Simmons more
Do you
rebounds.
think Ben? Wait.
More-
When you say
yeah.
Ben Simmons is top 10, are you saying like with like everyone healthy or like last season?
both.
Oh my god.
top
Okay, no,
10.
you're wrong.
Okay.
But
Name-
he's better than
Okay, yeah,
Jason.
you're definitely
All
wrong.
right, here's players.
gets-
Is he better than?
all right,
Is he better?
I'll
Is
give
he
you
better
all
than
the
Jimmy
players
Butler?
I think are better than Ben Simmons. All the
No,
players
he's
I think
gonna
are better than Giannis, KD.
Is that it?
All right, that's
What is
the-
that, it?
that's every player in the East that I think is better than Ben
Shut-
Simmons.
Oh, in the East.
All right, West.
Jimmy Butler's better
Steph.
than Ben Simmons, bro.
Steph,
I'm
Jason-
beginning this
Kawhi,
episode.
Jimmy
No,
Butler and Jason
no.
Tatum are better.
LeBron.
Ben Simmons is better than both of them when he's healthy.
Bro.
Jimmy
Oh
Butler?
LeBron, AD,
my god.
Wait, I need to open
wait.
Jimmy Butler's stats 1 second.
Luka,
All right,
Harden.
I think it's time we wrap up because we have too
No,
much.
no.
too many
Here,
last-
let me just state this for you. Ben Simmons gets more rebounds and assists than both of the guys. He gets more steals, I believe. He gets more blocks.
Wait. So Ben Simmons is better than Jimmy Butler.
0.6. He gets the same block as Jimmy. Yes, when he's healthy.
Oh my
What?
god, bro! It's just
Next
stop.
season,
Ben
Next
Simmons would,
season.
so Ben Simmons would have taken the Heat to the finals.
Wait, can we acknowledge how Ben Simmons shot better from the three than Jimmy Butler? Can we just all acknowledge that? Like he shot
Because he
better.
took like one.
No.
Okay, but
He's more efficient than Jimmy
can
Butler.
Ben-
He shoots. Yeah, go ahead.
can Ben Simmons lead the Heat to the finals? Like could
No,
Ben Simmons
no.
have
he
led the-
couldn't.
Okay, so he's not better. Thank you.
No, Jimmy
Let's-
Butler's
let's
impact.
wrap
Let me say this real quick. Could Ben Simmons replace Jason Tatum on Celtics? Answer that question right now.
Oh, their positions are different. That's
No.
why they have Kemba. They have
No.
Kemba. They had another
Hell
guard.
no.
Oh, here.
Hell no.
I'll answer it this way, Tejas. I'll answer it this way.
You know what? I'll also say this: if Jason Tatum was on the Sixers instead of Ben Simmons, they would have made the finals this year. I think.
I mean, Ben Simmons was injured, but let me put it this way: if there was a player of Kemba's level as a small forward on the Celtics, and then you put Ben Simmons instead of Tatum as a point guard, because Ben Simmons is a point guard, then they would have made it as far as they did. If you have
Okay,
Kemba in a
I'm
small forward version,
Listen,
Alright,
if you okay, I don't know about Tatum, but if Ben Simmons is not better than Jimmy Butler, like you can like I'm
not
I'll
right
put my,
now.
like, money-
Next season he will be.
we're talking about we're talking about right now.
Right now he's better than
I'm talking
Tatum. Right
about-
now, okay, he's not better than Jimmy Butler right now,
Tatum. Oh my.
bro.
Oh
He's
my God.
he's like a lot better than Tatum.
No, he is not.
Tatum
Tatum's
Tatum's the best player on his
I
team.
think
Ben
they're-
Simmons is like, yeah, go ahead.
I think they're even. You just said Ben Simmons is the best player on the Sixers.
No, he's the best player. He's not the first option. Like Joel Embiid gets more shots than Ben Simmons does. That's what I meant.
Because Ben Simmons can't shoot.
No, not more like shots. I mean, like more like shots.
Okay,
Like,
okay, Darian, you don't seem to realize the NBA now revolves around shooting. If you can't shoot, you are not going to be good.
well, Giannis can't shoot.
Okay, but he's got at least a mid-range shot.
Giannis is 7 foot, bro.
Yeah, Giannis is super tall. And
Oh, okay, but Ben Simmons is 6'10", so like they're not far off. I don't know. Like, I
Giannis has a
don't.
Yeah,
mid-range
but Ben.
shot at
So how
least.
come Ben Simmons isn't an MVP? Because obviously Giannis is better than him. He's just better at what Ben Simmons. Like Ben Simmons can drive, but Giannis is arguably the most unstoppable player while driving at you.
He's not, but he's better than Ben. at driving, but it's because Ben Simmons like he
Ben
hasn't developed
Simmons
as well
cannot
as
shoot the ball,
Jonas has.
period, and that is a major liability in today's NBA, which is why
No,
teams
it's
is
not a
better
major
than.
liability. Bam can't shoot. He doesn't have a mid range. Like
Bam is a center, and Bam does have a mid range.
he doesn't
They're
have
He
like
shot
a far
84.
mid range.
He
Like
shot
if you watch
84% from the
Kawhi,
free throw line in the playoffs. What's
okay, no,
Ben
free
Simmons'
throw.
free throw percentage?
No, Ben Simmons sucks at free throws, but free throws are, I'm not counting. I'm counting top of the key, like not like short mid range shot, like past 15
Bam is
feet.
also Bam is a center.
Yeah, I know. But like Joel, Joel's a center. I'm trying to think of a player like LeBron. Luka's not the greatest shooter either. Like if you believe it or
Luka
not,
can shoot the ball, bro. Ben Simmons is like the biggest shooting liability in the NBA. That's a fact.
like Luka shoots 30% from the 3-point line. Like it's kind of low.
Hey, but
Like
he
lower
can
than
shoot. You have
yeah,
to
I know.
respect him when he shoot.
No. I know you have to respect him when he's
People
shooting.
just leave Ben Simmons open.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna get a mid range next season.
All right, we'll just wrap up. We'll agree to disagree. We'll see what happens with Ben Simmons next season. But we hope you guys enjoyed the video. Pretty nice episode. Preseason starts in 3 days. Well, actually, no, preseason starts today. I don't know why I said
Yeah.
3 days. So it's gonna be pretty fun to watch. NBA season starts in about a week and 2 days, a week and 1 day from now. So that's also gonna be pretty fun. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and hit the bell. Comment down below what you guys want to see from us next. And we're out. Peace.